has been almost 5 months since all of us have started to either work or study from our homes instead of going to offices or schools because of the ongoing global pandemic. Working or studying from home is certainly not a new concept, as a lot of people have been doing this since many years. However, while previously people were given an option to do that, now they are being forced to do this. And while it is definitely recommended that every one of us stay at home and do whatever we can, it is not an ideal scenario for many people, and unfortunately, it is a great news for cyber criminals and hackers. Welcome to a new episode of Tech Explained, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about how has working and studying from home has impacted cybersecurity, what are the advantages and disadvantages of it, and how it makes it easier for the bad guys to compromise or steal our data and exploit our system. While many of us might enjoy this shift towards working from home, given it has several advantages like no time spent in commute, more time to spend with family, and more freedom to do your work, it is actually a nightmare to businesses and organizations, as not only do statistics say that there is a general decrease in productivity when people are working from home than from the office, many of the employees also lack the necessary things that would make working from home a breeze, like a stable and a fast internet connection, a good computer, and a quiet and a productive environment to do work. However, this is not even the biggest problem when they take into consideration the fact that the employees working from home might put their company at a greater risk of potential cyber attacks and data breaches. This is mainly because, as opposed to a well established organization, most people working from home do not have a highly secured internet connection or a securely configured firewall in their homes. And on top of that, there might be several vulnerable devices connected to their home network, any of which could be exploited by an external attacker to gain access to the employee's work computer. Employers and businesses might also have not greater control over the employee activities, specifically on what they do with their own computers, what kind of things they download, or the websites they visit, or the links they click on, especially if the organization is not able to provide all of the employees with a work from home laptop that could be used when they are working from their home. These might be some of the biggest disadvantages of working from home, but it doesn't even come close to the amount of cybersecurity based risks that a company or an employee might face while he is working from or studying from home. Let us now discuss some of the major cybersecurity risks of working or studying from home. According to recent statistics, it has been revealed that there is a 600% increase in phishing emails since the start of this pandemic, most of them posing as health information or coronavirus details websites, tricking users into visiting the websites and then using some kind of malware to exploit and compromise their devices. With millions of people working from home because of the current situation, many of whom are not tech savvy and might not even know what a malware or a ransomware is, attackers see this as an opportunity to develop and implement new schemes and techniques to compromise and steal sensitive data, which might have been harder if these people are working from their offices with a secure firewall and other methods like intrusion detection and prevention systems designed to prevent such attempts. Apart from phishing scams, which trick users into clicking on malicious links, the poor security of home networks also contribute to the increase in the number of devices being compromised. Some people might even halve the default password for the router, or even worse, without a password, which makes them easier target for the attackers looking to hijack information. Even if they have a secure Wi-Fi network, there are many other ways through which a device could be compromised, as there is no sure way of what the employers or anyone in the house that might also use the work computer might download in the devices. Even if their kids unknowingly visited some malicious website on their personal device, a hacker could easily exploit all the devices connected to the same network. A recent survey even revealed that only 59% of people in the cybersecurity team of a company have the necessary resources at their homes to perform their job effectively. This means that even if a device is compromised and data is stored for a totally secure transition to working from home. Now that we have discussed about the various disadvantages and different types of cybersecurity risks involved for people who have transitioned to working or studying from home, it is also equally important to talk about what you can do to prevent yourself from cyber attacks and risks, or at least make yourself a harder target for the attackers. The most basic but certainly an essential thing to do is to first make sure that all your software are up to date to the latest versions, including any operating system on all of your devices. Hackers these days constantly keep figuring out ways to exploit any kind of software out there. But the software manufacturers and developers are also fighting back every time. But unless you update all your software to the latest versions with all the security fixes applied, you put yourself and your organization at a risk of becoming a victim of a cyber attack. Apart from this, you can also ensure that you have a secure password set up on your Wi-Fi router and all the devices in your house that are connected to the internet. Turning off any device that is not in use is also recommended, as it would certainly reduce the risk of getting attacked. You can also try to use a secure VPN connection on your devices whenever possible. Since the phishing-based attacks are on a rise, especially the ones disguising themselves as health information related websites, it is very important that you make sure that a link is genuine before you click on it. Instead of directly clicking on it, you can try copying and pasting the link on the address bar to see if there is anything suspicious. And if you think you have got a phishing email, make sure to report it as spam and immediately delete the email. Organizations could also ensure that all the latest software updates and security patches have been installed on their employees' devices, and also could update the security policy to better suit the work from home scenario, like prohibiting users from installing certain software or visiting certain websites, improving their password policies, shifting all the data to a secure and an encrypted cloud service provider, and so on. Regular security audits could also be undertaken to make sure that none of the employee devices are compromised, and take any necessary measures if there are any affected devices. Cyber attackers and hackers might be the second biggest threat during this pandemic situation, where millions of people are working from home. While none of us have lived through such times before, and it is true that there has been drastic changes in not just the ways we work or study, but also in the ways we live. And even though there might not be much we as individuals can do for fighting against this global pandemic, other than being responsible and staying at home as much as we can, there is certainly something we can do to fight against these malicious actors and cyber criminals. And as they say that humans are the weakest link in any cyber attack, it is in our hands to ensure that we do not let that happen, and both us and our computers stay safe during these tough times. I hope you learned something new about the cybersecurity risks and impacts of working and studying from home during this global pandemic from the latest episode of Tech Explained. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the podcast for more episodes like this, and share this with your friends, family and co-workers, and spread the knowledge. Thank you for listening, and I will be back with another interesting episode soon enough.